Hey everybody, and welcome to practice. I'm Quamay, and as you can see already, today's going to be a unique class for me and you. One, because I'm not home, and two, because I'm filming while traveling. And I think today's practice in class is going to be perfect to support what that might feel like for you if you're traveling. Okay. So first and foremost, we're outside, so I'm actually going to be accompanied by the sounds of life. So embrace that, and I hope that it actually adds a little ambiance to your practice. But secondly, um, I spoke about traveling, and something that I feel a lot when I travel is how do I stay a little more disciplined and consistent when I'm not in the comfort of my own home space, you know? So when I travel, a lot of the times, and especially this time around, I am sitting or I'm in a space where I'm not as mobile as I want to be. And I want us to do some poses and stretches that's going to target those highlighted areas for me. And maybe that's the same for you when you change, oh, excuse me, when you travel as well. So we're going to open the shoulders, front and back. So a lot of the entire shoulder girdle. But we're also going to get a lot of the front of the hips because a lot of the times the knees are like into the chest when we're sitting. Okay. So when you're ready, you're going to join me on the seat. And when you're comfortable in your seat, I just want you to take a moment to ground. Okay. So hands can relax on your thighs. If it feels good in any other like hand position or mudra, feel free to set yourself up. Okay. You're going to close your eyes for a breath. Take a moment. And if it feels good, maybe we start together. Just exhale all the air out of your body. You can SH. Maybe you. Nice. Okay. And then as you inhale, take a slow, deep breath in through the nose. Hold at the top, moment. And then exhale, soften, and release. Good. All right. One more time, real quick. Just inhale slow to the top. Little bit of a pause. And then as you exhale, this time release a little bit of the shoulders too. Nice. Okay. Now, eyes split open if you haven't already. And then as you inhale, I just want you to reach your arms up and over your head. Good. As you exhale, bend your elbows down into the sides of your body. You're going to swing your arms out in front of you till your forearms and your elbows touch. Nice. Okay. And then feel for a moment like you want to be a little active in this press. So elbows are going to push in slightly at the bottom. And then feel with the wrist or hands up top, a little bit of a pull apart. Good. Feel what that creates in your upper back and your shoulders. You want to keep that as much as you can. You're going to take your right arm, swing right arm underneath left, cross the elbows and wrists for eagle up arms. Good. All right. Now, for a moment, feel again that same awareness in your upper back and shoulders. Shoulder blades spread. Elbows are going to push a little forward off the chest. And in any amount that you can, lift the arms up. Nice. Okay. Take a big inhale in. Exhale, release the arms for a moment. Good. Okay, if it feels nice, move the shoulders a little bit more. So maybe give it a little shimmy. I feel like I love that a lot. Like I'm always trying to get people to like shimmy a little extra in your yoga practice. But if you haven't felt the shimmy with me lately, shimmy a lot. All right, one more time. Arms up, inhale. Good. Exhale, bend the elbows to the sides of your body. And then swing the arms back towards the front. Nice. Okay. Same kind of feeling in the upper body. Elbows press, wrist apart, but then broadening the shoulder blades in your upper back. Okay. Keep that left arm underneath right, cross elbows and wrist for eagle. Nice. Okay. Now, this time around, right? Same vibe. Elbows off the chest, little lift in the arms, but let your head fall into the arms a little bit more. Nice. So again, if you can emphasize like that broadening of the shoulder blades, that upper back is open. And then as you inhale, feel that fill up the upper back. Good. Exhale, release. Soften. Good. All right. Little shimmy if you want to. Okay. Don't spend too much time there because I can get carried away. Come forward in the down dog. So you're gonna roll forward onto the hands and then step back on the feet, lift the hips up. Nice. Okay, now real simple. And again, we're greeting the body a little bit more, right? So softening through the shoulders. Feel that there's some space in the hands. So you want to wake up those parts of your body that are not exactly like up and active right now, right? And then if it feels good, pedal out the heels, take a couple big bends in your knees. That might take a little bit of the attention into your legs. But right now we're just making space. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now from here, you're gonna bend your knees, look forward, and then slowly walk your feet to the top of the mat. Nice. Right. And then as relaxed as you can be, just soften and release the effort back down to the mat. Right. So heavy. Okay. And then the same feeling, right? Like we're waking up the body, but also feel like there's some space to kind of check in and bring some awareness too, right? So maybe you shake your head a little yes and no, feel the space and awareness around your neck, right? Maybe it feels good here to sway a little upper body so you can let your spine kind of relax and dangle. All right, same vibe here. Bend your knees a lot. Feel that if you want to take a little bit of that space and movement into the legs, you got all that play, right? And if it's not too crazy, you want to let go with your breath. So feel the release in your breath, right? Like you can like open your mouth, give yourself a big sigh if that feels nice, right? And then on the next inhale, forward into half lift. So you're gonna stretch your heart forward and up, and then hands are gonna rest either on your thighs or your calves. Okay. Feel for a moment in your half lift that your shoulders are coming back and away from your ears. You're gonna take an inhale to breathe in, and then exhale, forward fold and let go. Nice. Okay. Next inhale, stand all the way up, arms over the head. You're gonna stretch over the head. And then as you exhale, let the hands relax to the sides of your body. Good. Okay. Now pause it for a moment. I want you to kind of come back to the consistency of your breath. Okay. So this is another way on a smaller scale, right? Where the discipline and the consistency in this short form of a practice is to come back to the breath, right? So be as disciplined as you can be. And we're going to set the tone for practice. Half salutations just so we can build on the breath. Okay. So as you inhale, stretch the arms forward and up. Nice. As you exhale, forward fold, come down over the fronts of the legs. Nice. Okay, as you inhale, come forward in the half lift. Exhale, forward fold, and we release. Nice. Okay, inhale all the way to stand and take your time. You're going to reach through the fingers. Exhale, let the hands relax to the sides of your body. Good. All right, one more time. Try to breathe a little deeper if you can make it happen. Okay, arms up, inhale. Nice. As you exhale, fold, but slow down. All right, practice that feeling of like not rushing. Okay, inhale, halfway lift. You can pause at the top, like how we started class. Exhale, forward fold. No rush to get to the bottom, y'all. There we go. Okay, inhale all the way to stand and take your time. And again, a little active through the hands. Good. Exhale, hands to the sides of your body. We let it go. All right, one more time. If it feels good, close your eyes and just feel the movement in your body. Okay, arms up, inhale. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Good. I'm still singing to y'all on both coasts. I'm in California, but I'm still New York vibes. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. We let that go. Good. Okay, inhale all the way to stand and take your time. Exhale, hands to the sides of your body. Good. Some things just don't change, you know? Okay, so feet a little wider on the mat. Good. You're going to take the hands to the heart, sit the hips down and back, chair pose. Good. Okay, now for a moment, we're not going to stay here forever, but even in chair pose where I feel like we're working a little bit more, the consistency and that discipline of being with our breath, we can lose, right? So sit a little lower and just re-engage. A little slower on the inhale, sit a little deeper on the exhale. Good. Take an inhale. You're going to stretch the arms up with that breath. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to let that go. Good. Okay. Now, feet open a little wider. Maybe as wide as your mat goes. I usually take my feet as wide as the mat goes, right? You're going to sit the seat all the way in between the legs, between the feet, excuse me, and then palms press for Malasana. Okay. Now, for me, hips, like especially front of the hips, is like big throughout travel. But any part of my hip that I can give a little bit of like space and range to feels really good after sitting for a long time, right? So press the legs out with the arms, get the inner thighs to lengthen, and then take a big inhale and just squeeze back in a bit. Good. All right. Exhale, hands on the mat, forward fold. We let that go. Okay. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, hands on the mat. Step both feet back. Pause, plank. Pause and down dog, excuse me. Okay, now from down dog, you're gonna inhale forward over the hands for plank. Exhale, come halfway down. Right, up dog, you're gonna inhale over the toes, lift your heart forward and up, shoulders come down and away from your ears. Good. Exhale, down dog. Tuck your toes. Okay, so for me, usually I'm like moving through like cobra, locust pose, things like that. But an up dog, especially in today's practice, gives me a full like motion of the shoulders, or at least a lot of the motion that we don't exactly get from like cobra, right? So staying with the breath, you're gonna inhale, stretch your right leg up and back. Good. Open up the hip, turn your body to the right side of your mat, and just make some space on that right leg and thigh. Good. And if it feels good, you can roll the ankle, you can flex the toes. All right, give yourself a couple big like movements on that right leg. Good. And then as you inhale, you're gonna stretch your top leg back. Exhale, step forward in between your hands. You're gonna set up low lunge. And then real simple and low lunge. We're not gonna like take this too we're not gonna go too deep into a specific technique, but for this first one, you're gonna rock back a little bit, crawl your front foot a little more to the top of the mat, right? This is the only thing I want us to like super focus on. Your left hand comes to left glute, Squeeze the glute muscle so the back of that leg and hip is engaged, and then kick the top of the foot down into the mat, okay? Keep that, sink the hips a little forward and down. Okay, for me, again, we're stretching in front of the hip, but that little detail of engagement changes a lot to help us get a little more of a well-rounded like stretch and feeling, okay? Holding for a moment, you can keep your hands where they are, or maybe you can bring the hands to the front thigh and just hold and breathe. Nice, okay? Now, from here, heart lifts up. Take that front foot, you're gonna walk it a little more to the right side of your mat. See your choice, right? You can bring both hands to the inside of that front foot, continue to kick. Maybe you lift the knee off the mat, or bend your back knee, reach back with your right hand, take yourself into a deeper quad stretch. Nice, okay? Now, turn the heart open a little bit more, right? Feel some space in that top right shoulder, right? You're gonna kick a little bit into the hand, right? Take a big inhale, lift the heart. Nice, exhale, release the back foot down. Right, down dog, so you're gonna step back on your front foot. All right, take an inhale, come forward in a plank pose, and then exhale halfway down. Or if you prefer cobra, you prefer locust, you have any other variation you need to take what you need, right? Like that's the big thing, right? And especially if we're talking about discipline, right? Like if you need something and you're not disciplined enough to like take it when you know you need it, that's why we practice, right? So inhale, left leg up. Good. Bend your knee, turn your hip open, make some space, move your leg the way you need to. Right? The way you need to is such a key cue. Okay. Now from here, inhale, top leg goes back. Exhale, steps forward in between the hands. Low lunge with the back knee down on the mat. And then just setting up just this one little detail before we like dive a little deeper. So hands on your front thigh, bring your body back so you're a little more stacked over your back knee. And then take your front foot a little more to the top. Good. Okay. Right hand comes to right glute. Squeeze the glute so the back of the hip is engaged, and then kick through the top of the back foot so the front of that hip is lengthening, but we're engaging while we're stretching, okay? Keep that, hips forward and down. Okay, your choice. You either stay, hands on that front thigh, or if you feel so free, take a moment, you inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Good, but as you exhale, take the hands back down to the mat. Left foot is gonna walk over to the left side. Nice, okay, so normal lizard setup, top of the back foot can kick into the floor. You could even, if you feel a little bit better, tuck in the back toes, right? Tuck the back toes and lift the knee, right? If that's like not enough, you want a little bit more. I'm not saying that is not enough because it can be plenty. Grab for the foot and then twist the heart and chest open to the left. Okay, it's a big thing, right? Like we're getting the front of the hip, so allow yourself to stretch and feel front of the hip. But at the same time, we want to make space in shoulders too, right? So without like grabbing foot and cranking, kick a little bit, let that left arm be soft, but feel the shoulder open. Good. Take a big inhale. Exhale all the way down. Nice, y'all. Down dog, hips up and back. All right. Your choice of how to flow. And if it feels better to pause, maintain your down dog and just be consistent and disciplined with how you breathe. Nice. Okay. Down dog. I feel like that's a big thing, right? Like sometimes, especially like when I'm traveling like this, right? Like if I'm not doing my full yoga practice, I'm like, I'm not doing my yoga, you know? But breathing is just as much yoga as you coming to do a few down dogs and like low lunges, you know? So that conscious awareness of how you're breathing and being consistent and disciplined, we're doing a lot of yoga, y'all. Bend your knees, look forward, and then slowly walk or hop in between the hands. Good choice. Good. All right, inhale for your half lift. Exhale to fold and let go. Good. Inhale all the way to stand and take your time, and we're just slowing down. Right? Good. Exhale, hands to the sides of your body, let it go. All right, pausing for a breath just to be consistent. Take a big inhale in. Exhale, and then soften if there's anything extra you're holding on to. Nice. Okay, now from here, feet a little wider. Good. Take an inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, forward fold. We come down and let go. Nice. Okay, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the mat. This time, right foot is going to step back. Okay, keep that left foot in between the hands. And then the hands are going to stay on the sides of the front foot. Okay, and any amount that you can, you're going to straighten out the front leg, but keep a little micro bend. Okay, again, we're going to like highlight just a little detail. So, little micro bend. So that way the back of the leg is a little more open. And now with the front foot, you're going to ground down into the mat and then create the effort of pulling back through that front leg. Good. Okay. So feel the back of that leg, keep that awareness, right? And in any amount that you can, straighten through the knee. Nice, y'all. Okay. So you want to maintain like that push through the floor, right? So you're still grounding front foot, but feeling hamstring a lot, hopefully. Okay, take a big inhale in. Exhale, rebend the front knee. Okay, now arms are going to come over the head for warrior one, but I want you to take that front foot as wide as you can on the mat. Nice. Okay, now similar vibe, right? Like we're doing warrior one, but we're going to highlight this inner thigh a little bit more. So ground down through the outer arch of that front foot, so much so that the inner arch is a little light. And then feel this feeling of pressing the inside of the leg out towards the pinky side of your foot. Okay, keep that effort. Open up, excuse me, warrior one. I'm in a whole different warrior, y'all. Feel the hips rotating a little towards the front of the mat, but that emphasis on the outer arches of the foot to get the inner thighs to light up. Okay, keep that. Take an inhale, reach towards the sky. And exhale, hands on the mat, down dog. Right, take the flow that feels good. And again, if that's like pausing in down dog, take your time and pause. I feel like when I'm at home, I'm like imagining that everybody's not at home. So I'm like, reach up, right? And I'm trying to avoid saying ceiling. And then now that I'm outside, I'm like, reach up. And I'm trying to avoid saying, like, I can't, it's not easy to say sky. Like, it's funny. Inhale, left leg up. Good. Exhale, step left foot forward. All right. This time, back heel comes down. Straighten out the front leg. Pyramid pose. Nice. Excuse me. Right foot forward. There we go. All right. I feel like, yeah, I was like super turned around. So, right foot steps forward. Pyramid pose with your right leg at the front. And then take a little micro bend in that front knee. Okay. Now, we're stretching the hamstring, but we're engaging a little bit while we do. So press that front foot firm, and then time of pulling back on that front leg. Okay, any amount that you can, you're gonna straighten through the knee, but you're maintaining that effort through the foot and leg. Okay, keep that. If it feels nice, feel the feeling of reaching your heart towards your toes. Good, take a deep inhale in. Exhale, rebend the front knee. Warrior one, arms over your head, inhale. Good. Okay, now same vibe. Front foot wide on the mat. That way we're targeting a little more of that adductor with that inner thigh muscle. Okay, and then feeling the feeling of grounding through the outer arch. Push the knee out from the inside of your front leg. Good. All right. If it feels nice, close the eyes and just sense what you're doing in your feet and legs. All right. Take a big inhale, stretch over the head to the sky. Exhale, hands down. Down, excuse me, step forward, coming to the top of the mat. Good. All right. Inhale for your half. Exhale, forward fold. We let that go. Good. Inhale all the way to stand, taking time to reach overhead. Exhale, let the hands relax to the sides of your body. Okay. Ground yourself with the breath. So before you rush, we're just being disciplined with our focus, right? Big inhale. Exhale to release. Nice. Okay. Now, from here, I'm going to actually turn towards you. But we're going to move through like a figure four kind of stretch, but we're going to work through it in like a chair setup, right? So hands to the heart. Sit the hips down and back as if you were taking a normal chair, okay? But now you're gonna shift the weight over to the left foot, right ankle, right thigh, right ankle is gonna cross over to the left knee, okay? Now, sit the hips down and back. Feel like if you were actually like holding chair for a moment, this is a little more active, right? You can work this way if you need to, but if it feels good, something a little more accessible, or at least grounding in my opinion. Left hand to the sole of the right foot. Take your right hand all the way down to the mat, okay? Now, maintaining everything that you were doing in chair, right? So the hips are still going back and down, and then the heart is going to lift a little forward and up, right? But with that top leg, feel as if you're pressing down into your bottom leg, and then you're dragging a little bit through the hip and right thigh. Nice. All right. Pull back just a little bit. So the hips and the hips and thigh go back. Heart lifts up a little bit more. Good. All right. Take a deep inhale in. Feel the right side of that right hip, that abductor. Good. And then release that. Forward fold. Heavy for a moment. Yes. Okay. Sense that there can be a space in your practice where you're actively, or not actively, where you're deliberately or intentionally trying to release, like you're practicing how to let go. Nice. Okay. Now from here, inhale, half lift. Hands at the heart, chair pose, set up one more time. So sit the hips down and back. Good. Weight is in the right foot, right ankle. Right foot. Take your left ankle over to right knee. Nice. Okay. It's the same vibe, right? If you want to work a little more actively, stay low, but feel that chair pose vibes. The hips are going back and down, heart is lifting forward and up, okay? If you want to go a little further, right hand sole of the left foot, left hand down to the mat. And again, this is not like more advanced. In my opinion, it's a little more supported and grounded. So again, if you want to be more active, you might stay upright, right? But feel your left hip wherever you are. So that top shin is grounding down into the back leg. And then send the hips back, send the thigh back a little more. Good. Heart forward. Take a nice slow inhale in. Good. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. So even in the poses, right? Like notice if in these poses, especially the next one that we're about to do, you lose the consistency and the discipline of your breath, right? And again, this is our practice. Like no matter what we're moving through, life happens, but can we stay grounded in the consistency, right? So inhale halfway. Exhale, hands on the mat. Step both feet back. All right, flowing through what feels nice. So maybe you come forward for up dog, cobra, or any other variation, or you're building that consistency with your breath back and down dog. Nice. Good, y'all. Okay, so from here, come down onto the knees. All right, camel pose, or at least we're setting up for camel. Okay, and I want to give you two options because I've taken this multiple ways in my personal practice. So your knees can be like right about hips width distance. You can keep them like stacked underneath the hips. Or if it feels nice, take your knees as wide as your mat goes. This is my personal preference. And again, if it feels good, you might try it out. And if it doesn't work, go back to what you did previously. But toes are going to touch behind you like a little tripod base. That width feels really nice on my lower back. I just feel a little more supported with my thighs and legs. It actually engages inner and outer thighs a little bit more too, okay? So from here, you're going to take your fingertips, touch bottom ribs, right? And then sense that even though we're doing a back bend, I don't want you to let your ribs like splay out, which I'm exaggerating right now, which I might look crazy to whoever's like on looking. But bottom ribs, you're going to pull that back and in. And then sense that with the ribs in, you're going to pick the ribs up. So your core is a little more engaged, but you feel all that support through that midsection, right? And you're going to take your hands to your lower back, right? Fingertips face the mat, squeeze the elbows in towards each other, okay? Now, lift the heart up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, drop the head back, drop the body back. But I want you to sense here too, right? Like we're back bending, but we're not letting everything like splay out. So stay contained in the middle, lift the chest. If you're reaching back for the feet, you can, but consistent with your breathing. So if you're going to a place where it's hard to breathe, like you can't inhale or exhale right now calmly, that's your body's way of saying this is a lot and we need to come back to a place where we're still practicing, right? So whole pose, right? The whole pose means breath included. Take a big inhale. Exhale, hands support the low back. Take a seat down onto the heels for a moment. Nice. Okay. Pause for a moment. If it feels good, close your eyes. Right. And then just sense for a moment, right? Like, yes, being physically disciplined is amazing. Being consistent with the way we show up in our effort is amazing. But maybe another added layer to it is also being consistent with the things that we are aware of and being disciplined with how we handle that awareness, you know? So taking one more inhale. Nice. Okay, now your choice. You can stay here onto the knees. You might bring the legs in a little bit closer, like a normal hero's pose. Or if you want to take like a easy pose, like on a seat, feel free to swing your legs out from underneath you. Right, but we're gonna take a few simple twists. We're gonna pause for a moment and we're gonna wrap up the practice after that, okay? So for a moment, just sense that you're still grounded in your seat. So feel firm and then lift the heart up a little bit higher. Kind of sense that same kind of core engagement we practiced, okay? Now, take your right hand behind the seat. Left hand is going to come to the right knee. And then with a little bit of that core engagement, you're going to pull bottom ribs in. Take an inhale, lift the heart. And then as you exhale, twist the spine, look over that right arm. Good, okay? Feeling for a moment that, again, everything's contained, a little more extended. Take another nice inhale in. And then as you exhale, maybe you look over that right shoulder, get a little stretch into your neck too. And then maybe with the hands, with that backhand, you just crawl a little more to the right. Good. Okay. Especially in a sequence like this, when we're like targeting the spots of the body that are like not as active when we're traveling, my neck is always a thing. So anything that you can do for the neck in practice, I feel like it's a blessing. So one more time, a little like active look over that back shoulder. All right, take one more inhale. Nice. Exhale back to neutral. Okay. Same thing on the opposite side. So take your left hand behind you, right hand, left knee. Take an inhale, you're gonna lift the heart up. And then as you exhale, twist to look over back shoulder. Okay. And then feeling that you have some time, right? Like I feel, especially in these shorter classes, like I feel rushed at sometimes, but I don't want you to feel rushed, right? And I mean, we both can be better, right, at how we approach that. But sense that, like, if you need to hold this, you can. And also, if you need a little more of an adjustment, if you need to go deeper, you got that option, all right? And I'm intentionally taking some time explaining that. So maybe, again, you crawl that left hand out a little bit more because your body has allowed space with the time. We're taking an inhale, lift the heart. Exhale one last time, look over back shoulder. Nice. Okay, now from here, come forward. And then from here, you could either lay down or just keep yourself in a seat. You might adjust if you have to make it a little more grounding for yourself. But I want you to take at least a minute. Okay. Hands in a place where they feel rested, they're not as active. Nice. Okay. I kind of come back to this thought a lot, but in the Gita, Krishna talks a lot about this idea of a one-pointed mind, right? And in a one-pointed mind, that means that your eyes are like on the target and you're repeatedly keeping your attention on that thing, right? And when we travel, or at least when we do things that are like out of routine, I feel like we can lose sight of that one thing that we might have our focus on. And for me, that's the yoga practice at times, because life happens literally. And in life happening, you don't have the comfort of being in your safe spaces, home for me, on the mat for me. And you kind of lose your one pointed focus. You kind of lose that one pointed mind, You become distracted by many other things. I always feel that it's just easier said than done to be like, all right, wherever I am, I can practice. But the effort to try is worth it. I can't say it in any other way. Like trying to be disciplined and trying to be consistent is worth it. And I think it's one of the hardest things in the world to be consistent. It's one of the hardest things to be disciplined. But we have this practice, and this practice is really good at helping us train those skills. So more importantly, I'm grateful that even in the midst of my travels, I've had a chance to share with you. I hope that in this time you've got what you need from practicing with me. And I'm hoping that when I'm back home, we maintain these vibes. This is nice. And I'm hoping that this ambiance adds to what we shared. Um, thank you all. Namaste and happy, happy, happy every day. Good work.